welcome to Everything BS. Again, we are here for YouTube reviews of American Horror Story. We'll be back on RuPaul's Drag Race soon. Tonight will just be Brandon and myself, Stephen Wyatt, doing our review, and we will be returning with our guests for this show, assuming anyone even cares enough about this show to listen.
According to Facebook, I think they do.
We're still unsure as to how we feel about this show.
It's early.
Previous seasons, obviously, Murder House, best season, I think.
I loved season 1. I loved the concept, the cast, characters. It ended well. That was fine.
A lot of folks hated Asylum. I loved Asylum. I like the idea of the devil running the insane asylum and having...
Well, it's hard to do a bait and switch. You know, you're getting a second season of something you loved, and then you realize it's completely different. So, of course, you initially hate it, but I promise you, if you go back and watch it, you'll love it.
Right. It's the devil with a psychotic murderer and a Nazi surgeon who also was in Freak Show, and now all the shows are starting to mend.
And then
oh god,
3.
Coven. Everyone loved Coven. A lot of people loved Coven. I hated Coven.
I think Coven had the strongest start or opening, probably 3 or 4 episodes of any season, and then it just fell.
Yeah, they killed everybody off and they brought everybody back, and then
it seemed like they were very confused at the direction there. So.
I feel like one person wrote every other episode, and then someone else wrote the in between episodes, and they're like, "Oh, well, shit, you put."
And then one person
Rabe
just figured it out,
right? And they're like, "Oh, screw it, we'll just bring him back."
Then you had season 4, which unfortunately was just a snore fest. It was.
I like Free Show. Okay,
you like Finn Wittrock
just because of
God,
Finn
I can't even
Wittrock.
say his name. Say his name.
Finn Wittrock.
Say it 5 times. He will appear.
I don't have to. Finn Wittrock. Finn Wittrock. Finn Wittrock. Finn Wittrock. Finn Wittrock.
All right. Thank you for the entertainment, Finn.
Thank you for the entertainment, Finn.
Now we're finally into season 5, and right off the bat, there's a lot of hype around this season, and we know that there's been some major game changes. Right off the bat, Jessica Lange is out. She's done. We don't know why, but apparently Lady Gaga is replacing her, and I feel like they should not say that she's being replaced. It should just be that season 5 is not going to have Jessica Lange.
Well,
because
I don't think she would have played the same character. I think this character is written
like
for Gaga. I don't think Matt Bomer and Jessica Lange would have had the same.
She was
age.
fucking young guys in season 1. She was fucking young guys in season 3. She fucks young guys in season 4. They just love Jessica Lange. I just don't like the idea that they constantly say that Jessica Lange was replaced by Lady Gaga, and being a pop star does not mean you're a great Oscar-winning actress.
I liked Gaga. I don't like her non-eyebrows. That's just distracting.
Or they're bleached or something. But it's
Yeah.
just, you can't. She really does not express emotion so far from what I've seen in the first episode. And unfortunately, right off the bat, I feel like she's having that open mouth syndrome where she's breathing through her mouth like Kirsten Dunst. And I noticed that in like 3 scenes where one of the scenes she's literally just sitting in an elevator and her mouth is open, and I'm just staring at her teeth. I'm like, close your mouth. Like, what are you doing? But maybe that's just a personal thing. Who knows?
Well, let's move on to the setting. I like the hotel. The hotel looked good. Big is always Ryan Murphy's thing, I think. And we'll eventually get on to Scream Queens, which I like a lot. But even the frat house there is set up kind of like the Coven house, where you've got this giant room, like 20 by 20. There's like one table in the middle. Or the living room will be the same size room, and it has like one little love seat and 2 chairs across from it. It's just, everything is so big, so colorful. I like the hotel look.
Okay, am I the only one who's going to say it? The hotel is just a ripoff of The Shining. With the same carpet patterns. The exact same carpet patterns and creepy kids in the hallways at the end of each hallways. All that happened was Ryan Murphy got drunk one night, watched The Shining, and then watched Twin Peaks and said, you know what? What if Kyle MacLachlan's character went to investigate the Shining Hotel, and that's what we have now. It's the FBI agent or detective or whatever going to investigate the Shining Hotel. Same premise. And they're adding enough David Lynch creepy, weird shit like the Tetris room, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah,
I just feel like that's literally what the show is so far.
every child's favorite thing.
Yeah, I
Tetris
literally
and a bowl full of gumdrops.
Yeah, I literally think that it's just they go, hey, The Shining's good, and I love Twin Peaks. Combine them, bam, season 5. But
so the show starts off with 2 Swedish young ladies coming in, and they meet Iris, Kathy Bates,
who to me she kind of looks like remember The Incredibles? Remember Mrs.
Edna Mole?
Yeah, she looks like Edna Mole to me with those giant glasses. But that's her character.
Well, anyway, she comes in. She's kind of a bitch to start with. By the end of the episode, oh, and by the way, this will be spoilers if anyone's not seen this. I don't know why you'd be looking at this if you haven't seen it. By the end of the episode, she was a much kinder woman. Obviously, I guess pre-hotel days. I don't know why she's there. I mean.
Why an Oscar-winning actress is there? Or
we know why
her
she's there.
Okay.
Why Iris is there. But I don't know how she just all of a sudden got a job there. I guess we'll touch back on
She clearly knows that there's some foul play happening there. And I don't know why she just hates anyone who comes off the street. I don't understand how a hotel can keep business if your business is disappearing.
Well, that's why they have the new letter.
Oh, true.
So, Vampire Kids are credited on IMDb. Of course, anybody can edit that, but I think that with them being credited, of course, they also are biting into one of the Swedish women there at the opening. So they are obviously little vampires. They look like the Children of the Corn.
I don't know. I think the twist might be that there isn't no. I think the twist could be that there is no supernatural things in play. And it turns out maybe they're feeding the kids blood. I don't know. Maybe they're pouring sugar or something in it. It could be something weird. We don't know. But.
Well, anyway,
you had the Swedish girls.
Starts off with an urban legend with the Swedish girls where they show up and there's a foul stench and they check in the bed mattress. This time the person is not dead; they're just freakishly. Well, maybe a ghost. I don't know. And that's another
well, he smelled really bad,
yeah.
and I don't know. Was it room
ghost?
33? I believe that the original room was room. They only mentioned 2 rooms, and the whole show was the guy in 33, and then room 64, and apparently 64 is where that's where you end up at the end of the day. But
which I don't get why Wes Bentley's there if everyone's dying in it. But anyway, let's see. So after the vampire kids bite into them, they are kidnapped. So then we go to our new credits. The new credits of it. I don't know why the 10 Commandments are in it. I'm guessing it's going to play into it.
Well, a lot of hotels have a Bible in the drawer, so maybe it was a reference to that.
The lettering is a no vacancy lettering from a motel. You wouldn't find that in a hotel. That's one thing I didn't like. They could have used the same old. I mean, it was the same font, but they could have used the same just white lettering. Would have been fine. It looks like a lot of the same footage coming through. One of the things that Ryan Murphy does in the opening credits of American Horror Story is they throw out hints throughout the entire season. I would say definitely Freak Show was one of the biggest ones. But anyway, I didn't really care for it. I'm kind of surprised. I didn't like not seeing Finn Wittrock's name. I wish she was in this episode. Well, wish she was another main character.
I think he carried last season.
Yeah, I agree.
Like weird.
Mae Whittingham is probably going to be a main character. She's the maid, who we see at the beginning too when they're walking through the room.
Actually, she was one of the few characters that I kind of enjoyed because I couldn't tell if she was supernatural or not because she appeared when people.
I assume that
she kept disappearing and she showed up in that one guy's room and was like, "Oh, like apparently she takes care of everything. She cleans up. She's
but is she a ghost?
Housekeeping." And
that's one thing I don't like. At least in Murder House, we knew right off the bat that we had ghosts.
Murder House established rules. You die in the house, you stay in the house.
Right.
Now, I think they're just so desperate to... They want to be Lost or they want to be Twin Peaks. They just want you to keep guessing, so they're not presenting us with rules, but maybe they are subtly. So maybe we'll figure out what these rules are.
Speaking of Twin Peaks, one person I was excited about to see in this season, and this is another reason you can't really trust IMDb, but she was credited for the first episode, but she's not in it, and she's not credited anymore, was Mad Chinamik, who is Shelley from Twin Peaks, and she is now credited for the second episode, so I'll be excited. She plays a character named Scarlet, and Scarlet is also the name of Wes Bentley's daughter, which is strange, but I don't know if they're in any way tied in. Finn Wittrock, again, I had that written down. I can't say his name enough.
Well, back to the episode. Then you introduce the Kyle MacLachlan character. I don't know what was the guy's real name.
Detective Lowe.
Detective Lowe.
Wes Bentley.
He played Mordrake
Right.
in season 4. He pops up and he's investigating a murder most foul.
And
Oh, well, it wasn't even well, the woman's dead, but he's got his Johnson super glued inside the woman, and he's been nailed to the board, and apparently it's like a see no evil, hear no evil kind of deal. His eyes and tongue have been cut out, but then also he thinks it's connected to a murder where some guy got ass raped by something golden, basically. They announced that.
Another thing is Detective Lowe seems to show signs of Sherlock, where he walked in, he just looked around the room and goes, because they're like, oh,
We've already searched that
yeah, and he
part.
goes, well, I haven't. And Bali looks at it, and all of a sudden he's deducing every little thing.
Because he can't deduce what happened to his son. Oh, God. Oh,
he's not saying, get me out of here. He's saying, get me out of her. And he finds the super glue, and he's like, he's stuck inside of her, and blah, blah. Anyway, so we've got Sherlock now mixed into it, which would make interesting, I guess.
I say Kyle MacLachlan. It's his character.
Back to the gold paint chips from the previous investigation. Those do show up later on when
in the very next scene with I wrote down golden twink when I saw him walk in, and next thing you know, there were golden shards in his ass. I feel like that entire scene, I just feel like they wanted a wow factor, and also they wanted to pay homage to, clearly the gay community has been a huge supporter of American Horror Story, and I know that because every time I log into Facebook, people already rave about the series before they even watch a single episode. So I'm already just, okay, that's fine, but...
Well, one cool thing I liked was when his character was walking to his room, and one of the doors opens, and this hostile-looking...
Yeah, that guy with the apron
out.
and
Yeah.
like all the mask. Yeah,
I'll be
kept
excited to
seeing
see what
him.
he is. That was cool.
Hopefully he becomes a character. I'd hate it if he's just always in the background. But
So then we've got Max Caulfield getting raped by the golden strap-on.
I kind of feel bad because I think
Greenfield,
I'm starting to
sorry.
realize
Max
that...
Greenfield.
Well, I feel bad because I started feeling really guilty during that scene because I started realizing, is that what I've been doing to people all these years? I think it all makes sense. It all comes full circle.
Feel free to chime in.
Yeah, feel free to comment. I will not reimburse you or whatever.
So then what doesn't make sense is he's getting raped, and then Sally's there, and she says, tell me you love me, and it'll stop.
But she killed him by only looking at him, so I think you're establishing supernatural...
He wakes up after the detective gets there. Remember, the detective lays down in the bed.
But remember, his eyes turned... the pupils dilated, and all of a sudden... So I think there's some sort of supernatural element in play.
I don't know. I don't know whose ghosts. I don't know how Sally's controlling this golden strap-on demon. I don't know. Which I hope these things get answered. Or at least
I don't want it to remain vague. I want it to all make sense at the end, and I'm a little worried that I don't want this to be like season. I don't want it to be like Coven, where they just. I feel like they wrote it as they went along.
So one thing you caught then is when Wes Bentley's going up the elevator with Dennis O'Hare, who's Liz Taylor. He says, "You lost something," and then he sees his son, Holden,
after he randomly takes a nap at room 64.
So Holden's obviously one of the vampire children, because even later on, Lady Gaga goes into the Tetris room and she says,
"But she's not
Holden, be nice."
And they're all drinking people's blood, and
and first off, that scene, God. the scene where he loses the kid at the fairgrounds, that kid already looked demonic. I mean, there's a children
and it said it was 2010, so this is 5 years later. So, and the kid looked younger. Like, it was weird. Like, the kid looks the same. So clearly, there is aging is not happening here. With Holden, at least.
Well, that's obvious with Lady Gaga, too, because they go back to 1994. And then, so here's where we get to the introduction of her character.
Well, makeup does a great job.
Her character and the beautiful...
Kathy Bates has aged, though, we'll say that.
Yeah, her character did. Lady Gaga and Matthew Bomer. Thank you, Matthew Bomer.
Thank you, Matt Bomer, for carrying episode 1. Thank God you were there. And, I mean, we're not just saying this because we would like to see you naked, but his character was just refreshing. It was just so good to... it was just so good that he wasn't wearing clothes ever.
Right. Except for when they go to that. So they go to the drive-in. They go to the Nosferatu, as if they have to pound it into our heads These are vampires.
As if the audience isn't smart enough to realize what's going on, and that's a little. I feel a little insulted. But maybe I really hope that they're going to do a twist later on that turns out there are no vampires; they're just crazy. But
well, it's possible. Someone
But
said she
anyways,
may have
continue.
hemophilia, I think, which didn't make a whole lot of sense. I just read that somewhere. Anywho, so then we get to the sex scene, which was awesome, and Lady Gaga and Matt Bomer kill the couple that they brought in.
Yeah,
They slice their throats and then drink their blood.
And this is actually when we first saw Lady Gaga. And how did you feel about a lot of hype was around Lady Gaga?
I like Lady Gaga. I like her in it.
I really felt like her performance was a little flat.
A lot of people said that, but I think she's supposed to be.
I also think that the detectives was kind of flat too. I feel like those were the only two people in the whole episode that just kind of felt were kind of flat.
Oh, so I was on a note here. She's supposed to be apparently Countess Elizabeth Bathory, because she is Countess Elizabeth. She's credited as Countess Elizabeth, and obviously someone who bathed in blood.
Well, episode 1 didn't tell us who owns the hotel. It seems like she is the power in the hotel, but she's selling the hotel. It seems like she is in charge because she knows Will Drake by name. But
Right,
we'll get to that.
and there's another line when Kathy Bates is trying to force feed the Swedish woman, and Sally appears.
We need them to
She
taste
said-
good for her.
Yeah, explain.
She's the her.
Right, you can explain to her why they taste like shit. Well, it's obviously they're feeding the girls too. Well, I would say it's obvious. But then Kathy Bates makes that comment, I have to go feed the thing in room 33. I don't know. I mean, obviously the answer's down the road.
They're shoving a lot down our throats right now because I think they want us to be confused, and I just hope that it will make sense down the line. But moving on.
My thing is, I just can't. I don't know who's a ghost. I don't know if Liz Taylor's a ghost. Or
We don't even
supposed
know
to
if
be
there are
human.
ghosts.
Well, Sally,
I
obviously.
know. We'll get to Sarah Paulson falling.
So, then we get to the investigation at the gay house where there's been a murder, which I don't know if a lot of folks caught it, but I'm 90% sure that is Evan Peters, who was standing there with the hat on, with the little mustache.
And
That's
there
Mr.
was
March.
it was clearly using a voice box similar to the Scream movies when he
Right.
talks, so that's why you didn't hear his voice. But I agreed with you too. I was like, that's.
But
If
I'm
you
gonna
watch closely in
assume
the
he's a
previews,
ghost.
if you watch closely in the previews, he's wearing a hat. I know. I think he's like a Jigsaw serial killer kind of deal. And, here's exactly there. We don't know what the rules are here. At least with Horror House, you knew that you couldn't leave the house. In this, can you leave the hotel? We don't know. We don't know if Matt Bomer or Sarah Paulson's characters can leave the hotel, but clearly this man can. I don't think he's dead. I actually think he's alive, and I think he's going to end up in the hotel later because he's still chasing after the detective. So I don't think he's dead. I think he's just a separate.
Oh, maybe. That's a good point.
And I think that somehow the two murders are going to correlate. It turns out that the raping in the ass and the nailing guys to the walls are two different killers, but he thinks they're the same killer, the detective, and that's why he's back in the hotel. So maybe they'll all correlate. Maybe he'll get...
Oh, and that rape didn't take place at the hotel, I don't think, with the photos that he had. So I guess that golden
I don't
dildo
know
character
about
can get
that.
out of there. I don't know.
Jesus, who knows?
So here's a fun throwback to season 1. So Christine Esterbrook shows up as Marcy, the realtor, and she makes a comment. This is a really cool throwback. A comment about her dog just died. She said that she came across the dog through unfortunate circumstances, which is obviously the Harmon family dying. So she got the Harmon family dog at the end of season 1, assumedly, and now of course that dog has passed. So officially, she's the only person from season 1 still mentioned. I guess maybe Jessica Lange may show back up as that character. And they make an appearance. I don't know why she would, but
I think that Jessica Lange, Oscar-winning actress, nominated twice, maybe 3 times, I don't remember, but I think she saw the writing on the wall. I think she saw the writing on the wall in season 3, but they offered her the lead, so she said fine. And then maybe she already signed on for 4, but she clearly got out.
do I get to sing? Yes. Oh God, I hope we don't have many musical numbers in this one. Oh, Lady Gaga though. I'm sure we're going to.
Oh god, we're gonna have a Glee episode, and everyone's gonna rave that it's the greatest thing that ever happened. All right, okay, let's discuss when the new owner appears, the Will Drake character.
Okay.
Now he shows up and he's doing the whole thing where he's got a coat on, but he's not wearing the sleeves, which already annoys me right
Well,
off
he's
the
a
bat.
fashion expert.
Wear a cape. Fucking wear a cape. if you're into fashion, wear a goddamn cape. But I mean, that's what it is. But he's got the kid with them, which all the little boys look like little girls in
I
the
agree.
show so far. They all have the really long hair, and I mean that's fine. But I got really confused because I thought it was a girl at first, and it turned out it was a boy. And the name was like Locklear or Lockholm or Loch Ness, or it was something like that. And,
Lachlan.
But it was one of those kids that's like McLaughlin. It was like one of those kids that's like, I'm constantly up to no good. You know, I'm gonna rummage through things. I'm gonna find something that you don't want me to find. And Lady Gaga, I think, in that scene establishes that she is the owner of the hotel and she's sold the hotel. Maybe she's trying to get out, like Jessica Lange got out. She's trying to get out, and she has a thing where I guess I don't think she kidnapped the man's son, but she brought him down to a room where she keeps kidnapped children. Like, why would you just... She must have some sort of thing with kids.
Well, and the kids must be some kind of ghost too, because they vanish. I don't know. It's too much to... Hopefully by episode 3 we'll have some kind of...
Hopefully by episode 3 we'll know to stop watching.
So Cheyenne Jackson comes in. He's a new owner. Kathy Bates makes a comment, and she says, because the realtor says, surely the owner told you, and she goes, I've never met the owner. Which makes you think that...
She said, I never met the owner.
She's either covering for Lady Gaga, or she...
I was wondering if there was a hidden character that is
not
the owner. Like, maybe Lady Gaga works for someone. Maybe Lady Gaga's like the lieutenant for Jessica Lange popping up. Oh, God, what?
Maybe. It's a weird... Maybe it's just an inconsistency, and they just didn't catch it.
Maybe they just knew that people were going to watch it no matter what.
Yeah, but, maybe. So we go back to 1994.
Yeah, with the Bomer...
Matt Bomer's character dies of an overdose. Well, we assume he dies of an overdose. It's obviously 21 years later. His character hasn't aged. So he's some kind of ghost or vampire.
And Sarah Paulson is the dealer, and she's clearly Charlize Theron from Monster, or maybe...
Lily Rabe. Lily Rabe's going to come up as Eileen Warren.
Oh, sorry. I just meant to say... What?
And then...
but Sarah Paulson, the scene got weird. Sarah Paulson got pushed from, I would say, 8 stories, 10 stories, hit the pavement, you're dead. Okay.
Yeah, she's dead.
But we've been seeing her. So that scene establishes that something supernatural has to happen. In every other scene we could have explained through any other method that maybe a rich bitch just thinks she's a vampire and pays everyone to act like vampires, or who knows. But that's the one scene that I don't think can be explained unless it could be. Because remember, there was a line that I can't leave here because of you. Remember back when Kathy Bates was trying to force feed the Swedish girls, and she said, "Well, I can't leave here," and then we find out that she won't leave because of her son. But it seems like certain people are trapped in this hotel.
Yeah, so I'd assume the son is, and I would assume Sarah Paulson is. So
because exactly. Like if he's dead, but
but they went to that the theater.
Jesus
thing.
Christ!
So,
fuck, we don't know. Okay, I think this is what they want. They just want to fuck with everyone's minds, and hopefully
they probably don't even know themselves.
I know, but I just hope that this isn't going to be season. I hope this isn't season 3 again. I just hope that they actually have an idea of where it's going.
Because season 3 started off. We wrote 4 episodes. Now what?
And now what? Well, fuck it. Just bring everyone back. We don't know. Just keep rehashing everything. Nothing mattered in season 3.
It would have been better.
There was no
end
end game.
Witches versus witch hunters in a big war. That would have been cool.
Or it would have been cool with witches against the voodoo priestess, and then against witch hunters. Like they had a formula. They had enough to do something. They didn't end it.
Episode 1. I do not like it. I hope we get some answers. And season 5, episode 1. I don't know. They need to do something big next. I mean, we'll obviously keep watching it.
We reviewed it the day after, and we already saw the Facebook post. And people were like, "It's amazing," blah blah blah.
You have people who, those are people who just have no.
Well, it's the same people who posted pictures of what is it? We survived the horror house. We escaped the asylum. We protected the coven. We attended the freak show, and now we will stay at the. You can't endorse something until you've seen it. And these are people who are just endorsing it.
It's also people who have no opinion, right? Did they just hear American Horror Story and go, "It's great"? It's great no matter
Yeah,
what.
but yet they never watch season 2, which
Right.
you need to go back and watch. Everyone, rewatch season 2 and watch season 1, and don't watch season 3 or 4.
So for the future episode, we saw Finn Litrock come in with his shirt open. Thank you. And he apparently is going to be some...
Applause? Good.
He's obviously some kind of model that catches the eye of Lady Gaga in the next episode, according to the description. Then we've got John Carroll Lynch coming back as John Wayne Gacy. He's got the clown makeup
He's doing
on,
another clown.
but it's strange to have the same guy who played Twisty come back and be a clown. So I don't know if that's going to try and
Last
tie
year's
in.
overused Halloween costume.
Oh, yes.
That
Oh, my
makes it-
God. Everybody. I'll be Twisty. It'll be unique and special. The...
I guess it goes the way of Joker and Twisty. Just
So the
be a
tie-ins,
clown.
the tie-ins for this one so far was obviously the realtor and the dog. We know that season 2 tied into season 4 because James Cromwell's character cut off Jessica Lange's legs. That was revealed, and then in Freak Show also it also connected with Asylum because of Pepper.
Right.
I don't remember how. I don't know if Coven's connected yet. I don't remember. So maybe Coven's the only season not connected. It may be. I don't know.
Maybe the Axeman was somewhere. Who knows? No, it wasn't.
He was in season 4, but he wasn't.
Yeah, sorry.
Anyway, if someone does know, they can let us know. I'll have to look it up. But anyway, so overall, I really hope we get some kind of impression on the next episode. I understand we're supposed to have questions, but we shouldn't have this many questions.
They could have held on to the rape scene with the golden dick. We could have waited till episode 3 for that. I feel like.
Yeah.
They should have intrigued us first, and then like, hey, by the way, fuck you. Like, oh god. But okay, like we could have had a few episodes to think what could be golden left in your ass. They didn't even give us a
They could
moment
keep
to
finding
process
bodies
that.
where they're like, oh.
They didn't even give us a moment to process the idea of was someone being raped with a phallic object. They literally showed us the very next scene, and that's kind of something that disappointed me. This episode alone treated the audience like they were dumb. They had to play Nosferatu on the TV or on the drive-in, and they had to tell you that there was gold left in someone's ass, and then the next scene, someone's fucking someone with a golden drill. I just feel like they were spelling it out, and I just really hope that this is on purpose, and it turns out the rest of it is a mind.
I hope they've written more than 3 episodes. I'm afraid they've written 3 episodes and been like, fuck it, who knows? We have a fan base. People don't care. We'll just do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully we'll find out. This is
Well, thank you, and join us next time with our guests.
hopefully fingers crossed. Fingers crossed here.